Have you ever been stuck trying to compile your project, only to be met with a vague error message? It's frustrating, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to tackle the error message, web compiler found an error in compilerconfig.json, and show you how to fix it. I completely understand how annoying it is when you encounter an error without any clear indication of what's wrong. You're not alone in this. Many developers face similar issues, especially when working with multiple configuration files. Let's dive into the specific situation we're addressing today. One user recently reported that while trying to recompile all files in their solution using Visual Studio 2017, they received the error message, "Web compiler found an error in compilerconfig.json." They mentioned that there are multiple compilerconfig.json files in their solution, and there's no indication of where the error occurs. Sound familiar? Let's work through this together. So, what could be causing this error? It often stems from issues like incorrect paths, syntax errors in the JSON file, or even conflicts between multiple configuration files. We'll break it down step by step so you can identify the problem. And don't go anywhere. I have a valuable tip at the end that will help you avoid this issue in the future. To begin resolving the error in compilerconfig.json, the user should first locate all instances of the compilerconfig.json file within the solution. This will help identify which file might be causing the issue. Next, the user should open each compilerconfig.json file and look for any syntax errors. Common issues include missing commas, incorrect brackets, or misplaced quotes. After reviewing the files, the user should validate the JSON format using an online JSON validator. This will help catch any formatting issues that might not be immediately visible. If the user still encounters issues, they should check the Visual Studio output window for any additional error messages that might provide more context about the problem. Finally, if the error persists, the user can consider removing and re-adding the web compiler extension in Visual Studio. This can sometimes resolve configuration issues. Fun fact, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. It's a lightweight data interchange format that's easy for humans to read and write. But even the simplest formats can trip us up sometimes. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution from another user suggests compiling your SCSS files individually instead of all at once. They found that this method helped them avoid errors. To implement this, first, open the Task Runner Explorer in Visual Studio. Ignore the All Files task. Then right-click each SCSS file and set it to compile after the build. Next, add a test style to your SCSS file, save it, and check the main.css file to see if your changes are reflected. That's all for that response. Let's see what someone else had to say. An alternative solution from another user involves checking each compilerconfig.json file individually. They found that a missing input file was causing the error. Their method includes compiling each file one by one until the problematic one is identified. Now let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative solution comes from a user who discovered that the web compiler didn't install successfully. They found that by following specific steps to help the tool install itself, they were able to compile files again. Additionally, the tool then provided clear feedback on which line of their SCSS had an error. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative solution from another user suggests that to resolve the error in compilerconfig.json, you should open your project as a website instead of as a folder. This simple change fixed the issue for them. Here's the tip I promised. Always keep your configuration files organized and well documented. This practice can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. You should now be able to resolve the web compiler found an error in compilerconfig.json issue. Remember, keeping your files organized is key. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button for more troubleshooting tips and don't miss our next video where we tackle common Visual Studio errors.